Imagine this. You just got a job offer in Switzerland. The salary looks insane, like way higher than what you're used to. And for a second, you feel like you've cracked the code. You start picturing clean cities, perfect trains, mountains in the background, and a bank account that finally starts growing. But then reality kicks in. You open a rental website, and your stomach drops. Look, this is exactly where most people get it wrong. They see the salary. They convert it into their home currency. And they think, I'm going to be rich. No, that's not how Switzerland works. Here's the thing. Switzerland is one of those places where the numbers look amazing until you understand what those numbers actually have to fight against. It's like getting a huge bucket of water, but the holes at the bottom are just as big. So instead of doing what everyone else does, just comparing salaries, let's actually break down what it costs to live there. Not as a tourist, not as a millionaire, just as a normal working person trying to build a life. Let's say you earn around 90,000 Swiss francs a year. That's a pretty typical good salary. Not elite, not entry level, somewhere comfortably in the middle. Sounds amazing, right? Now let's slow down, because this is where the illusion starts to crack. First, taxes. And here's the surprising part. Switzerland actually has relatively low income taxes compared to a lot of European countries. So at first glance, it feels like you're winning. More money hits your account. But don't celebrate yet. Because in Switzerland, a lot of the stuff you assume is covered isn't. Let's talk about health insurance. This one catches almost everyone off guard. In many countries, health care is either free or heavily subsidized through taxes. In Switzerland, you pay for it yourself. Every single month. And we're not talking about a small bill. You're looking at maybe 250 to 400 francs per month, per person. And that's just the base plan. If you actually want decent coverage, lower deductibles, or flexibility, that number climbs fast. So already that low tax advantage starts leaking a little. Now let's talk about rent. This is where things get real. If you're living in cities like Zurich or Geneva, rent isn't just expensive, it's aggressively expensive. A simple one-bedroom apartment can easily cost you 1,800 to 2,500 francs a month. And that's not luxury. That's just normal. Now think about that for a second. Before you've even bought food, before transportation, before anything, a huge chunk of your income is already gone. It's like starting a race 30 meters behind everyone else. And then comes food. Groceries in Switzerland are famously expensive. Like you walk into a supermarket, pick up a few basic items, and somehow you've spent 50 francs. Eating out, even worse. A casual meal at a normal restaurant can cost you 20 to 30 francs. And that's not fine dining. That's just a regular lunch. So naturally, people adapt. They cook more. They budget harder. They think twice before spending. But even then, the baseline is high. Transportation is actually one of the few areas where Switzerland feels fair. Public transport is incredible, clean, on time, everywhere. But it's not cheap. A monthly pass can cost you around 70 to 100 francs depending on where you live. More if you travel between cities. Still, compared to owning a car, it's usually the smarter move. Now let's put this together. You earn, let's say, around 5,500 to 6,000 francs per month after taxes. Sounds strong. But then, rent takes $2,000. Health insurance takes $300. Food and groceries, easily $600 to $800. Transport, another $100. And we haven't even talked about phone bills, internet, entertainment, or just living your life. Suddenly, your high salary doesn't feel so high anymore. You're left with maybe 1,500 to 2,000 francs, which is still good, but not the financial explosion people imagine. And this is the key insight most people miss. Switzerland doesn't make you rich by default. It rewards control. If you're disciplined, if you manage your spending, if you don't inflate your lifestyle the moment you arrive, you can build serious savings. But if you treat that high salary like permission to upgrade everything, better apartment, more eating out, travel every weekend, it disappears fast. Because Switzerland is designed in a very specific way. It gives you a lot, but it also expects you to handle responsibility. There's no safety net catching every mistake. But there's also no ceiling stopping you from doing well. It's a high-floor, high-cost system. Now here's where it gets interesting. A lot of people compare Switzerland to cheaper countries and say, well, it's too expensive, not worth it. But that's the wrong comparison. The real question is, how much can you keep? Because even though costs are high, salaries are also high. And if you're left over, the gap between what you earn and what you spend is strong. That's what builds wealth, not the headline salary. That leftover is your investing power, your freedom, your options. And in Switzerland, that gap can actually be very powerful if you protect it. So what should you actually do if you're thinking about moving there? First, don't just look at salary. Calculate your real monthly leftover. Be honest with your spending habits. Not your ideal version, your real one. Second, control your biggest expense, rent. This is the lever that changes everything. Live slightly outside the most expensive areas if you can. Even a small difference here has a huge impact over time. Third, treat your first year like a test phase. Don't upgrade your lifestyle immediately. Learn the system first. Understand where your money actually goes. And finally, remember this. Switzerland is not a place where you accidentally build wealth. It's a place where you build it on purpose. So if you're disciplined, aware, and willing to play the long game, it can be one of the best financial moves you ever make. But if you go in blind, chasing a big salary without understanding the costs, you won't feel rich. You'll just feel expensive.
If you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel.